guys, welcome back to another episode of Bake In. Today we're going to be making a cake, and it's a strawberry shortcake cake without the shortcake, just the cake. So a lemon cake filled with macerated strawberries and a delicious cream. Put it all together. Let's get started. Alright, so first up we're going to do the dry ingredients. So we're going to sift them all together. We've got 390 grams of flour here. I'm going to try not to make a mess today. I've got about a quarter teaspoon of fine salt, quarter teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 3/4 teaspoons of baking powder. I'm just going to sift this in. I'm already making a mess. There's flour clouds. Lovely. And I'm just going to give this a bit of a stir. I like to sift my flours and things because that way I'm sure there's no clumps, no weird bits. Excellent. Now we move on to the fun part, the butter. So this is quite a bit of butter. It is 390 grams as well. No, 340 grams. I was close though. And what we're going to do is we're going to cream the butter really well with, you guessed it, sugar, and this is 400 grams of granulated sugar. And for this, you want to make sure that you use a hand mixer like one of these. You can use your hands, it just needs to get really, really light and fluffy. So you will be there for quite a while doing it and get a really nice arm workout. So you want to make sure that your butter is really nice and soft at room temperature so that it is easier to incorporate and you can whip it easily. Otherwise, you're going to have a really hard time trying to break up those butter bits. I'm just going to give the bowl a scrape so I can get everything off the sides to incorporate it. I don't know if you guys can see this texture, but it's already getting to that really nice and creamy stage. We're almost there. I'm gonna keep going a little bit more. Perfect. So to this, we're gonna add egg whites, and just egg whites, no egg yolks. This is gonna help make the cake really nice and fluffy, and I don't want it to be like a yellow tinge cake. I want it to be more just a white cake. That's why I'm not adding the yolks. There's so much butter. I'm not really losing out on all the fat that you would get from the egg yolk, so it kind of balances it out. Hopefully that's the right science behind it, but trust me, it works and it's delicious. So I got 4 egg whites here that we're adding in, and you can just use egg whites from a carton for this, or fresh egg whites from an egg, whatever you prefer. They both work the same. Perfect. And then we're gonna add a bit of vanilla, just about 1 teaspoon. And I'm also gonna add the zest of 1 lemon, which is gonna give it that really nice lemon scented flavor, the lemon flavor. So by the end of this, I want this to be pretty much just a white lemon. It's actually really satisfying. There you go, nice, white, clean lemon. And you can use this for all the juice, roast, whatever you put in a roast chicken. Delicious. There we go. So I'm just gonna blend this all together now. Fabulous. Alright, so I'm going to bring back those dry ingredients that we mixed earlier, and I've got 360 mils of milk here as well, which we are going to alternate adding to the butter mixture to make the cake batter. So we're going to start with 1/3 of the dry mix, and you don't want to over mix it, so just until it's incorporated. Perfect. And then we're going to add half of the milk and mix this together, and it will start to look a little bit curdled when you do add the liquid in, so don't be afraid. And then another 1/3 of the dry mix. It's starting to look like a cake batter. Alright, what did I just add? Flour, milk, the rest of the milk. It doesn't track here. And you always want to finish with your flour to kind of seal it all together. So we're going to add the rest of the flour. Go. Lovely. Oh, this looks so nice. Oh, so I'm just going to use a spatula now to scrape it all. Make sure that I've got everything from the bottom. And if you don't like lemon, you can switch it for any flavor that you do like. Almond would be really nice. Just plain vanilla is delicious. But for me, lemon cake is the best. So this cake batter actually fills 3 8-inch round tins, but I'm only going to use it to fill 2 of them. And then for the remaining batter, I'm going to actually make some cupcakes just to have as a snack, because cupcakes, if you cut it in half, tasty cake batter. Yum, nice and lemony. If you do want to cut it down and cut it in half, you can make 3 6-inch layer cakes. So first, what we're going to do, oh, it's a bit heavy. Nice arm workout, see? Come on, guys. Muscles. Baking muscles. We're going to fill these cake tins up only 2/3 of the way because you want to leave room. 2/3 of the way because you want to leave room for them to rise in the oven, and I don't want them to overflow or overbake or anything like that. So 2/3 full is perfect. Rule of thumb: 2/3 full for cake tins. Oh no, I spilled some. I'm gonna try not to make a mess today. Handy palette knife, and then I'm just gonna use an offset spatula to help smooth the cake into a really nice flat top. Ideally, when I'm doing cake pans, I like to weigh them so that they're all equal, or use a ice cream scoop to make sure I put the same amount of scoops in, but I broke my ice cream scoop. I need to get another one. I'm just gonna go by eye today, so smooth this one out. And what I've done before I put them in was I greased and lined cake tins with butter, parchment paper, and flour, so that way I know I can just slide them right out without any sticking issues. So I've got the oven preheated to 180 degrees, and I'm gonna bake these cakes for about 30 minutes until the toothpick comes out clean and they're nice and golden brown on top. All right, so while the cakes are cooling, they're just sitting on the side over there, I'm going to macerate some strawberries. So for that, we need, well, strawberries. I've chopped them quite thick. It's about a 1/4 inch or so, because I don't want them to kind of just be too thin. I want them to give some height to the cake as well. And to that, I'm gonna add 70 grams of granulated sugar. So what that's gonna do is, as it sits, we're gonna have it sit for about 30 minutes or so. It's gonna help bring out the juices of the strawberries, and it's gonna make a really nice sweet syrup that's gonna pair perfectly with the cake and soak into it just a little bit as well. Just give it a bit of a stir, incorporate. And at this point, you can add some really nice flavors. You could add some more lemon zest, you could add cardamom. If you wanna make it a little boozy, you could add some coconut rum, you could add a bit of limoncello, really whatever takes your fancy. I'm gonna go quite simple here with just sugar and strawberries, because I've got lemon in the cake already. Great, so now we're just gonna put this aside and let it sit for about 30 minutes until they have really nicely until they have released their juices, and they'll be really nice and juicy. Perfect. I'm running out of space in my kitchen. All right, now we move on to the cream filling. All right, so we've got our cakes cooling, so they're cooled completely. We've got strawberries macerating, and now what's left is to make the cream filling. So for this, we're gonna be using cream cheese because I wanna add a bit of a tartness to the cream filling so it's not too whipped creamy. I mean, I just want a bit more body to it, so that's where the cream cheese comes in, and as you can see, it is quite soft here. And to this, I'm gonna sift in 80 grams of icing sugar. This is to make sure again that there's no clumps in the icing sugar. Icing sugar is notorious for having clumps, and I want a really smooth cream filling. So don't not do these important steps. And to that, we're gonna add just a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And then hand it in a hand mixer again. I'm gonna whisk it until it's nice and smooth. Making an icing sugar mess, as usual. As usual. What's next? Oh yeah, so I've got another bowl here. Into this, I'm going to pour in 250 mils of heavy cream, whipping cream, double cream, and we're gonna whip this until we get really nice, stiff peaks. I'm not doing it at a really high speed. I don't want to incorporate too many big air bubbles right away because that will cause it to deflate a lot quicker. You basically want whipped cream to get really small, tiny bubbles, and I don't want to whip it too much more than this because it does have a tendency to get overwhipped really quickly, and now I'm going to fold it, so I just want it to be just stiff enough to fold in. All right, so I'm gonna bring back in that cream cheese mixture, and we're gonna add in some of the whipped cream to start. This will help loosen the cream cheese a little bit more so that I can fold it a lot easier. This is going to taste amazing. Let's add the rest of it. So what the cream cheese does, it also helps to stabilize the whipped cream so that it doesn't kind of fall apart and spread out everywhere when we decorate the cake. It'll give it a little bit more height and volume. And that delicious cream cheese tang that we all know and love. So I believe that is nicely mixed through. Looks fabulous and creamy and delicious. I'm gonna give it a taste. Delicious. It's gonna go so well with the strawberries and the cake. I can't wait, but still the cakes are really cooling. And I want them to be completely cool so that this cream mixture does not melt everywhere. Otherwise, we'll have a disaster. All right, guys, so the cakes are completely cooled, and now we are ready to build our strawberry shortcake cake with a hint of lemon. Let's go. So, I've got one layer of cake here. Look how beautiful and golden brown it is. Are you ready to see the insides? What I've done is it's got a bit of a dome on top, and I've cut off the top, just a thin top layer, because I want the strawberries to be able to soak into the cake, because obviously it's delicious. So just take off that thin top layer. And the perks of this is bakers get to eat that. It's really lemony and delicious. You can see the lemon also tinted it just a little bit yellow, which is beautiful. It's a really nice crumb. I'm excited. So first up, strawberries. You can see how much juice they have let out. It's beautiful. So that's gonna soak into the cake. It's gonna be really delicious. I'm just gonna put them in a nice layer. I'm just gonna start using my hands, which are clean by the way, just to kind of place them in because I want it to look really nice on the sides when I present it at the end. So I don't want to overdo it either. Awesome. So now I've got the delicious cream that we made earlier, and I kept it in the fridge while the cakes were cooling because I didn't want it to sit out too long and get too soft. So I'm just gonna dollop this on, enough for the top, and just gently spread it over the berries. And don't spread it right to the edge because once you put that piece of cake on top, it's gonna push everything down a bit. Great. So the second layer of cake, I've done the same thing, taken off the top, put it right on top. Just make sure it's even. Oh guys, I don't know about that side, but this side looks delicious. Oh yeah, nice and flat. So again, with the strawberries. The last couple guys here, boom. Awesome. And then the rest of the cream topping. So this you're gonna want to decorate a little bit so it looks really nice because it is the top of the cake now. So I'm gonna do some some dollops, and then we'll decorate it with the back of a spoon. So I'm starting in the middle and then I'll work my way to the edges with it. So just take your spoon and just do like little wisps and waves with it just until it's all covered. So this would be perfect for an afternoon tea, for a birthday celebration, if you're doing any drive-by birthdays, or if you have anybody at home who's celebrating, or even just because you really wanted a nice cake to treat yourself. Why not, right? Why not? I mean, that's what I'm doing. So. And then I've just taken some strawberries and I've cut them in half, and I'm just gonna garnish the top with just a few of them. And I'm gonna take a little bit more lemon, and I'm just gonna zest a little bit of lemon on top, just so they know there is a bit of lemon flavor in it. Perfect, you guys, this is great. Look at that. Yay! We've got a strawberry shortcake cake, 2 layers of delicious lemon vanilla cake, macerated strawberries, some nice cream cheese, whipped cream, layers of it. So let's dig in. All right guys, so the moment of truth, we get to finally try the cake. It looks really delicious and super moist. The strawberries have actually soaked into the cake, so it's really delicious and strawberry. And with that extra batter, I made all those cupcakes, so I've got a little snack for later as well. So I've got a big cake and some cupcakes. Win-win, right? So let's give this a try. Delicious. It's got such a nice balance. You get the lemon, strawberry, the really fluffy, moist cake, cream cheese, cream filling. Oh, this is so good. This is definitely a winner. I need to find some friends to share this cake with today. Otherwise, I'm gonna eat it all. Thanks again, guys, for tuning in to another episode of Bake In. Stay tuned for next week for another delicious bake. See you then.